Hey guys, this is Michael, aka SoundJack, here with Nerdy Geek Talk, the source for all your nerdy geeky needs, here with episode 78 of Steel City Bots. Joining me tonight is Miguel.
Hello. Hello, people.
Yes. How are you doing, Miguel?
Um, Doing all right. Trying to determine whether or not toy the electronics are on the fritz, or if it's just batteries that don't have enough juice. Um,
Hopefully it's the latter.
I very much hope it's the latter. If not, this is going to be
Expensive to replace?
impossible to replace, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, and 2 weeks in a row, it's literally just me and someone else. So, what are you gonna do?
I'm this week's Jared.
Yeah, you're this week's Jared. Uh, or was Jared last week's Miguel?
We'll leave it up to the listeners to find out
Yeah,
or to determine rather.
yeah. Tell us. We'll have a poll on. You know, I'm going to do that. I'll put up a poll on Steel City Bots. Is Miguel this week's Jared, or was Jared last week's Miguel? Oh, that's gonna. Okay. Odd, but okay. Anyway, starting off as we normally do, a history lesson for the week. On this day, February 26th, 2005, the Galaxy Force episode Fierce Fighting Starscream premieres in Japan. This is better known in the US as Speed, and this is the episode where Starscream starts to Starscream in Cybertron. Yeah, not the greatest history lesson for the week, I'm going to say. But the only other thing was that the actor for Ron Witwicky from the movies was born, and I'm pretty sure we did that last year because we actually recorded on a Monday last year, and that's how calendars work.
I mean, people are allowed to have birthdays
No,
every year.
no, yeah, I mean I agree. I'm just like normally the time normally with how the year works, we shouldn't have done the same date 2 years in a row. So why do the same history lesson 2 years in a row for the same date? You get what I'm saying?
I'll pretend I am and say yes.
Okay, that's all I ask. That's all I ask. Okay. Anyway, off of that weird history lesson, what did everyone get this week? I'll just go first because I don't know what Miguel got. It just reads in the show notes, good grief, too much. Uh, and I only got one thing this week, and I only got it today, so that's going to be pretty easy. I got Studio Series Bone Crusher that I ordered off Hasbro Pulse, so I got my Hasbro Pulse Premium membership for the year. He's chunky. He's good. He feels large, despite being despite being a short Voyager. He still feels very big.
He's got that wide stance.
Yeah, he's got the wide stance, and it just has the presence that like it doesn't even come up to Siege Optimus. Barely comes up to Siege Optimus's window boobs at the head. But it still feels impressive. Though also he's got the spikes, the shoulder claws, whatever's. What are those?
Can you show it on the video just so I can?
The claw thingies.
Well, that's his fork thing in vehicle mode, right?
Yeah. Well, what would you call that? What is it? For
it's
his
what? I think it's supposed to be a minesweeping arm. Like that's what it actually is.
Right. Yeah, that's what it actually is. I was just trying to think of like what the term would be for like if a character that didn't have a Minesweeper alternate mode had like a thing like that on the back. Would that have a term?
Is there back spikes or shoulder spikes or like
mandibles?
Yeah,
They're
coming out of his back.
They're mandibles. What was it? that was a toy fair that was described as having mandibles. Even Omega Supreme's hand claw.
Was described as mandibles? What?
John Warden described Omega Supreme's hand claw as having mandibles.
That all right? Okay, John Warden. Question I had is how well can because his feet are wheels, right? Like
how the feet transform, the wheels don't even touch the ground when all of the claws are touching. When they're sitting, the wheels don't even hit the ground really.
So he can't roller skate.
No, he really can't. The weird thing I'm going to say is when you tilt his foot, only 3 of the claws rotate. The front claw still stays straight.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's good. The transformation's relatively simple. Almost the same, just slightly more involved than the original Deluxe. But I feel like it doesn't hold together all super duper well. Though maybe I'm just spoiled with how well everything holds together for Siege. Yeah, it's just weird. I think I might just not have. I do think I might not have some things exactly the way they're supposed to be. But I've only transformed to vehicle mode twice, so. But anyway, he's good. He's good. And there's just a Miguel on my camera just standing over me imposingly.
I felt that Michael seemed too lonely in the Skype call, so I turned on my...
Miguel? Miguel? Can you hear me, Miguel? I'm going to message the group chat if you can hear me, because I cannot hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, so I shouldn't turn on my camera or else the Skype call will collapse.
Apparently. I'm just gonna shut my camera off so it's equal.
All right.
But anywho, we'll see if we remember to tell the editor to cut that out.
Or depending on whose audio track we have to use, you'll just hear me saying "oh no" and silently getting back to Skype.
Yeah, yours is probably quieter than mine because I was trying to have an engaging conversation. I was like, Miguel, hello. I guess I'll message you if you can hear me, and I can't hear you. Anywho, what did you get this week, Miguel?
I got a lot.
Yeah, I can tell.
Starting off with what I purchased from Hasbro Pulse. First off, the things I didn't open: Studio Series Leader Jetfire and Leader Megatron. So I was able to get in on the error pricing when they were for $39.99 each rather than being $49.99. So
would have loved to grab Megatron for $40.
What was that?
I would have loved to grab that Megatron for $40.
Yeah, because I had gone out the night before and I was able to find one Target that had Megatron but didn't have Jetfire, and the Megatron was returned. Like, I was staring at it in the box, and then I noticed that it was kind of loose, and I'm like, what's that about? And then I saw that it was taped rather than being held down by the twist tie things.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, if this was returned, I'm not really sure why it was, and I don't really want to find out by opening it. So I left it, and then thankfully the next day Hasbro Pulse went up, and then the leaders were $10 off, as were the Wave 2 Siege Deluxes.
Yeah.
They eventually corrected the pricing on everything, and also accidentally raised the price on one of the Wave 2 Micromaster sets by $10.
Lol.
So if you want to buy the Soundwave Spy Patrol, you're going to end up paying more money than you should be.
Ah.
I think it's either Soundwave or the other one, the Rescue Patrol.
I mean, there's only 2 options, so.
Right, but I want to say it's the Spy Patrol that got bumped up. Anyway, grab those. Also, grabbed the G2 Combat Megatron in the Tiger Camo colors that they released. I was very much like, I'll just grab it, whatever. It's a neat color scheme and everything. And surprisingly, it's a lot nicer in person than it is in I think once people got it in hand and started taking better pictures of it, other people started to get converted, and it was like, oh no, like this one actually looks really cool. Not much to say on that besides it comes in a neat kind of like at FunPub, like the mailers that the subscription service figures came from FunPub. This was like if they were done better and done in a way that wouldn't destroy the figures, or at least scuff the paint on some of them. I'm not mad about that.
Definitely not. Why would you be mad about that?
It's even decked out in War for Cybertron Siege printing all over it. The Megatron inside still comes with the twist ties and everything, and then you get a little card from signed from John Warden saying oh, thanks for tuning in to Hasbro Pulse and picking up this figure that was abandoned in '95. And then the other cool thing is the fact that, and this was something that initially I guess wasn't getting the rounds, and I want to say by now people know about this, but if you don't, the figure is actually retooled. The head is sculpted to be like the Megatron Origin style head, so the minor Megatron with the specific detailings he had in that comic, which ends up matching the last time they did this color scheme on a tank Megatron, which was the Legends class one from Thrilling 30 that the Collectors Club did for the Pretender Megatron set. So it's a neat double homage there, and that it's still a good mold. The tolerances are better than on my original Megatron. So the Wave 1 Siege Voyager.
Does the head still do the sink into the chest thing?
Yeah, the trap door that his or the little panel that his head's on doesn't move as much. It's a lot tighter.
Huh.
One of those instances, I guess, where as they continue to use the mold, they'll tweak the tolerances, and each release might get better and better.
Nice.
Here's hoping. Who knows? Maybe if you wait out on Megatron and pick up a later run, if he's repacked on a later wave, he might be better.
If that 35th anniversary line actually does come out.
Oh yeah, if the 35th line comes out, then that Optimus and the Megatron will probably have, let's hope, have better tolerances and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that. Also got in a BBTS pile of loot. I'll only talk about what I've opened so far. So I did open the DNA Designs DK08 Optimal Optimus upgrade set. So this is the set that comes with the wings, the wheels, the guns, and the swords. So this one doesn't update too much because it's there's this set and then there's an additional set that gives him different shield pieces and articulated hands. This was the first one to come out, or the first one to be announced. And of the two, I'd rather have this set, so I'm pretty happy with it. It does enough to kind of beef up his silhouette. The wheels, it adds the third vehicle mode or third alt mode rather, that he didn't have, since he didn't have wheels for the stock version, and then the swords are specifically for Optimus Primal. Optimus can't really hold them. So, yeah, I decked him out with the upgrade set, and then I had the repro label, so I finally applied at the very least the eyes. So now he has proper green eyes, nice and emerald.
Nice. I still need to do my sticker set for mine.
The other thing, which I haven't. Well, did I talk about the fact that I got Encore Big Convoy?
Did you?
I don't think I. No, I don't. I wasn't on last week, so I didn't. So yeah, I had a Amazon Japan order come in, so I ended up with a couple of Encore releases. Encore Big Convoy, Encore Unicron of Light, and the Encore release of Beast Machine's Air Attack Optimus Primal. It was a very big box. Haven't opened the Unicron or Optimus Primal yet. Big Convoy did. And, actually, now that I think about it, I might have talked about it.
I know you talked about it with me when I was down there, right?
Oh, right. No, that's where I think that's when I talked about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that wasn't recorded.
Yeah.
Right, so this will be more for the listeners. Michael's already heard this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a really good mold, nice tolerances, not beautiful paint scheme. The colors are very bright, vibrant. One thing that I noted, because I have an original release of Big Convoy, and he has a flat pin that's how he has this whole back armature assembly. That's how you plug in the trunk for the mammoth mode, and you can also plug in his gun onto his back like that in robot mode. It's a bit looser than my original one, and it might be because on the Encore release it's just a flat pin. The original release, it was a flat pin that had a hole in it and then it has a screw. So the fact that it's built somewhat differently from what I guess was originally intended, that's why the tolerance is a bit different. It's not like it's going to break or fall apart or anything. The only thing that was kind of a annoying thing is that the way that his shoulder kibble rests, you can see the top of his ears from Mammoth mode. And I know that this sounds kind of strange, but those had sprue marks, I guess from where the mold, how the plastic hit the mold and how when it was cut off the tree, that were very, very noticeable just against the dark brown plastic. That I was looking it up just to see if anyone else had that same issue, and I saw a few people saying you can just paint over that. And what I tried doing was I took a hair dryer and I just heated those up a bit, kind of treating them like stress marks, and they actually worked to get rid of them. So if you end up having either this figure or any figure that has unsightly sprue marks, be careful, don't destroy your figures, but try applying some light heat to it, and you might end up getting rid of them if they end up being a problem for you. A little toy maintenance tip there. But yeah, really, really nice release. I'd say to any of our listeners who have ordered from Amazon Japan before to pay attention right now to a lot of their more recent releases, like the Encore releases and everything, because a lot of them have been going up, have been staying up as in stock from Amazon Japan, and they keep clearancing them out. The Unicron I got, it was at 50% off, and it's still going down. So if you're even mildly interested in the figures and you've ordered from Amazon Japan before, or if you haven't, you can look it up, and it's pretty simple. It's a separate account from my Amazon US account, and you can there's a globe looking icon, and you can set your account to English, and it'll tell you if they'll ship to the US, which the shipping tends to be very cheap. The only flip side is if you have to return the thing, it can become a hassle to almost impossible. So word of warning there, comes up being a bum figure. But yeah,
You're
the
saying
comp was pretty good.
the Unicron of Light keeps going down in price? Is that what you just said?
Last I saw, it was maybe at 60 something. Like I think it was like $84 shipped.
Fudge. Jeez. That's good for that.
Right, because like what is it? MSRP? Like what is it? Like how much? Let's see how much a domestic retailer. Right, if you were to purchase the specific Micron combined color Unicron from a domestic retailer, you'd be paying $200.
Jeez. And you can get it from Japan for $84 shipped.
Now that I've said that,
Or are you going to double check to make sure it hasn't just gone up drastically?
Either gone up drastically or just sold out.
That's true. That too. Please let it be sold out. I don't need the temptation.
All right, I'm gonna go through the checkout process. All right, so Michael and I live in a relatively similar area. Like, how long does it take you to get around here? Like 2 hours? An hour?
Not about 2 hours, almost. Usually
about
less.
2 hours. So 200. I'll give this ballpark like 200-mile radius. Not even that much. So it would probably be comparable to ship to him or to me. From Amazon Japan, the Unicron comes out to $75.07 retail with an additional $11.26 shipping, so that grand total of $86.33. So $2.33 more than I said, but like if you can save up that much, a little more, in order to today between March 3rd and March 6th, you would have the Unicron of Light.
Hey, my birthday's in a little over a month, right? Yeah, it'd be a nice gift. I'm not talking to you, Miguel. I'm talking to the audience.
See, what I was going to say is you could just be talking to yourself and just be like, hey, self, get yourself a nice gift by buying the green Unicron.
Well, I don't have. That is literally every minicon in existence.
Right. No, you could, if you got that, you could just say, look, I have a representation of every single minicon combined.
Yep.
I'm minicon complete.
I could.
I'm minicon complete.
Yeah, you beat me to being a minicon completionist.
If you plug any minicon on a Unicron, the Encore Unicron, it's doubling it, and that's not canon. What does that mean about the bug that or the dead end that he comes with?
That's a good question.
Do some of the minicons break off but stay combined, so they become just a super, like this?
The super moon?
Smaller,
yeah.
Smaller gestalt, but still super powerful? Okay, there we go.
Some of the minicons combine into a minicon for the other combined minicons. Did that make sense?
I wasn't listening, so I'll leave that to the audience.
Okay. Unless you want me to repeat myself.
No, let's leave it to the audience.
Okay.
And let's leave it to me as an audience member when I re-listen, hopefully, to figure out what it is you said.
Okay. Will you remember if you re-listen to this, that I said that?
Well, now that this unless I don't listen to that part and then hear this portion of the recording and then still decide not to go back. Like I'm leaving instructions for my future self. Future self, go back and actually listen to that and then respond in the group chat or on Twitter.
I can't wait for the response now.
Assuming you get one.
Yeah, assuming there is one.
All right, so if that's wrapping up what we got, unless someone else from the podcast magically decides to appear in the next couple of seconds, I guess we can get moving along to some of the news that's from this past week. News.
Yeah, let's do that.
Post Toy Fair, so there isn't much to go on.
I mean, there's stuff. There's some stuff. I actually added in an article after
the barrel.
Yeah, I actually added in an article after we started recording because I remembered. Oh, hey, this wasn't on T-Formers. So first things first. Siege upcoming Voyager and Deluxe assortment info. Thanks to Robot Kingdom, there's some specific details about the nature of upcoming assortments in the Transformers Siege Deluxe and Voyager price points. Voyager 3 apparently is considered to be consisting of Springer plus a reship of Starscream, with the previous thought having been Springer and Thundercracker were Wave 3. However, then that's not the case, and that probably means Thundercracker is Wave 4. And comes with a reship of Megatron, actually. So, that Megatron could also have the better tolerances, too.
Yep.
And then they mentioned about the ape face news I mentioned last week. If there is a fourth Voyager wave, then maybe there is a fifth ape face. The fifth wave that has ape face. I still don't buy that that's Siege, but whatever. On the Deluxe side, Deluxe Wave 3 is consisting of Red Alert, a reship of Hound, plus 2 unknown characters, which I think we figured out from process of elimination are going to be Brunt and Refractor. And then Wave 4 is Mirage, Impactor, 6-gun reship, and a further unknown character who is for certain Barricade. And then that's about it, really.
Let's hope that Wave 3 is bountiful and everyone can get their reflectors.
Yes.
And or Hasbro Pulse comes through.
And they have them for 10...
That's the thing. Wait, hope that Hasbro Pulse
screws
puts up those pre-orders and everyone just be on on the lookout and grab them and then...
Jeez, if you can get if those deluxes go up for $10, that would be great.
They're not going to go up 10.
The last two waves did. Or they
They did, but I think that might have been a
error.
A symptom of the same error being applied to both.
But they're probably too smart this time. They'll be like, "Hey, let's not do that again."
They fixed it for the Wave 2. They didn't fix it for the Wave 1 during the last legs of HTS.
Yeah. No, yeah. But maybe the first couple hours they'll do it again accidentally. That'd be nice to get the full camera reflector for 30 instead of 60. That'd be super nice if it happens. Probably won't. But yeah, moving on to news. Reveltech Optimus Prime previews latest super articulated figure. Figure King Japan Collectibles magazine showed off the new Reveltech Optimus Prime that we saw this. We saw an in-hand model at Toy Fair, right?
Yeah, there were there was a painted sample that I believe was in a limited amount of, either was just standing there. Yeah, the painted sample was just standing there, like stock straight, and then all of the dynamic poses were represented by gray model prototypes. This is our first look at a lot of the detailing and everything in color.
Grape model prototypes is what you originally were going to say. I just want that to be known.
Did I not say that?
You said grape. You said grape and then went to gray. That's what I heard, at least.
Not grape model. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. But this looks nice. This looks.
What is it? This is part of the Amazing Yamaguchi subline of Revoltech, which, from what I understand, might just be the only line of Revoltech right now. And one thing I have heard or seen before is that a lot of the figures in this subline, they don't tend to look that great when they're standing still, but when they're posed, they look really good. Prime is one where, from some angles, the exaggerated proportions don't really look that great when he's just standing there, but a lot of these pictures have him posed and they look amazing. I especially like all the shots where he's holding his gun, because he just looks super cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is something where I know they're gonna make a Nemesis Prime.
They are.
But this is one of those times where the way this figure's sculpted, it's very heroic in its proportions, very dynamic, and like it screams just like a superhero type of vibe,
mm-hmm.
to the point of where I'm like, I want it in Optimus colors because that's where the mold's really gonna shine. If it comes in Nemesis colors, I almost hope that they retool it in some ways to give it more of a sinister look. Yeah. Even if that's just captured in like his head and his hands.
Mm-hmm.
But
are those?
This looks so good.
Are those going to be articulated hands, or are they individual? Are they like removable hands pieces?
They have removable hands. So he I don't know if there's a shot in these photos, but typically you'll get removable parts. So he'll probably come with a slew of, and like you can plug in the Energon axe. So I'm assuming, yeah, his hands. Oh no, he does come with multiple hands, because in the display, one of the types of hands he comes with are both of his hands clasped together.
Mm-hmm.
So he can replicate the like Never scene from the movie where he hits Megatron with both his hands together.
Yeah.
And there's actually a shot in the second picture on the article we're looking at.
Oh yeah, I see it. Where we see that.
He has both of them held together, so you can do that pose. So
Never.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that does look quite nice. So nice. So are you getting this? Miguel?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if I am. That looks very interesting, though. So maybe. Granted, I'd probably try to go for Unicron of Light first. Anywho, let's move on to the next bit of news, which is WizKids Transformers miniature figures announced a new Hasbro licensing deal. So WizKids produce a line of What do WizKids do? They do collectible statues and like some tabletop gaming pieces, right?
Right. That's what I figured that this was, because that's the only sort of context I've ever heard WizKids in, is doing tabletop miniatures. So it seems like they'll be doing I guess, similar stuff in that vein, but with these specific Hasbro properties. What's interesting is like they're owned by NECA, so hopefully these are good quality because I've never heard anything good about NECA.
Well, if they're miniatures, then they're just going to be solid statue figurines, right?
I guess so, but you don't know. Like you could still mess those up.
That's fair.
I think someone pointed out. Oh yeah, in the press release, because the image is like WizKids, and then it shows My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. Halfway through the
press release, it stops mentioning G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it stops mentioning G.I. Joe. It's just like My Little Pony and Transformers products will be available throughout North America. So halfway through this press release, they, as pointed out by one Jesse Wittenrich on Twitter, they just discontinued the G.I. Joe subline of this whole partnership right in the middle of the press release.
That's great, isn't it? That's grand. Well, if these are going to be, the thing I'm now thinking of is if these are going to be tabletop miniatures, now I got to go find someone who has a Transformers tabletop game and now play it with friends in person. or a homebrew setup for that, where you could play as Transformers. That'd be fun.
See, but then it's like just enabling, like me specifically, because if it's just like, oh, here's a miniature of Nemesis Prime. Now, whenever, like, if I ever play a D&D campaign or something, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna do it up in Nemesis colors and be like, I'm gonna be Nemesis Prime. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, I'm an evil clone of Optimus Prime.
Yeah. This is Pathfinder. The Transformers are on here. Well, my name is still Nemesis Prime, but I'm a human that just wears armor that makes me look like this.
Or not even. It's like I'm a really good cosplayer.
You just be what?
So I created this hyper realistic Optimus Prime outfit, but it's all made of like cardboard and craft foam.
Not even. Does it actually count as any form of armor, or is it just?
I mean, what is it? Craft foam, cardboard, and glue. Like, I'm probably gonna die.
You get a -1 to your defense stats.
Or no, it's like it gives me barely any defense, but it like greatly hinders my mobility and my like my ability to see.
Yeah. Yep. Indeed.
So tune in to they don't even mention when these are supposed to come out. They just say like tune in. They'll be available throughout North America. They don't really give a date. So I mean, at some point, pay attention for Hasbro and WizKids partnering up to give you miniatures of
My Little Pony. Sorry.
Yeah, the important characters like Fluttershy and Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony, all of the different Transformers you love, and sorry, G.I. Joe's canceled.
Yeah. Indeed. But moving on. We got Transformers X Ghostbusters stuff. We have comic covers for issues 1, 2, 4, and 5. 3 is specifically known to be top secret. Let me check, because I think the next article might be talking about this. Oh wait, that's a different article.
I mean, even in this article.
No, I was thinking the other article talks about something else. But yeah, I know what you go ahead, because I know you know what's up.
Right, no, because it's like, issues 1, 2, 4, and 5. We can't show you number 3. It's top secret. However, if you pay attention to the cover of issue number 2, you can clearly see what looks to be the arm and the leg of Optimus Prime, but colored differently, specifically in white and black. with some red detailing, which kind of echoes the Ecto 1, which harkens back to a story from last year that I forgot about, and we're kind of talking about this over this past week. There was a reveal that there would be a Hasbro exclusive redeco of MP10 crossed over with Ghostbusters, which at the time made no sense. Now it makes perfect sense.
And wasn't that scheduled for September of 2019?
Possibly, which still it would coincide because like when this,
because that's when Ectotron is scheduled for release.
Right. So the comics start in the summer, kind of 5 issues. So June, July, August, September, October, depending on like variances and schedules or whatnot. By the time you hit the fall, the comics either winding down or in the midst of itself. You get Ectotron out there, and then MP10 Optimus powered by the Ghostbusters. So, yeah. So this kind of solves a mystery from last year that made no sense.
Yep. Now it makes perfect sense.
It seems that this comic is going to be set in yet another vague. It's the G1 cartoon, but with other people in it. Continuity. We had that with Transformers and Star Trek.
Oh, that's a lie. Now. That's a lie. That's straight up the Star Trek universe.
Oh, so it's just the crossovers universe, but it's just in different points in time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is is them before they hibernate and get stuck in space inside of Fort Max or whatever happens. I don't read the comics. It's just what I know from like.
Yeah. No, yeah, because I remember because they explained it because they were on Earth. They woke up in 1984. They kept secret, and then the wars that have been mentioned in the Star Trek canon in the 90s happened, and the Autobots were like, "Okay, time to abandon ship."
This is then this can't be in the same.
No, this can't be in the same canon. I'm saying the Star Trek one is specific. The Star Trek versus Transformers is specifically in the Star Trek animated cartoon canon.
I thought you meant that this.
No. I meant that. No, I was talking about the Star Trek one. Sorry for the confusion. That one.
Because I'm like, this based on these comic covers, they're not hiding.
No. Oh yeah, I can understand where the confusion is coming from.
Like they're going all out. Parts of this also don't make sense because you have season 1 bots, and then Predaking and Skylinks are there. Well, this can't be the G1 cartoon universe.
Well, there's season 2 characters. Oh, okay. You know what? This definitely can't make sense. You got Skyfire and Predaking sharing the same space.
Skyfire or Skylink?
Skyfire. Skyfire's right below Devastator's foot.
Why can't Predaking and Skyfire exist?
Because Skyfire got phased out of the cartoon way before Predaking got it.
It doesn't preclude him existing. My whole thing is the fact that a lot of the guys who are around here are dead by the time Predaking is created.
No, yeah.
Dead or reformatted.
Yeah, that's true.
But still, this looks to be like more fun, and it also shows that, at least for potentially, that as IDW rolls out their second original continuity, they may still be doing these fun crossover books where it's like, okay, here's our camp where we do stuff in this new continuity, like new stories or whatever, that are all us, maybe with influences from Hasbro from time to time. And then here's our fun route where we just like throw ideas together and slap the G1 cartoon with other stuff.
Yeah. You know what? I'll buy some of that if I can. This looks like fun. This just looks like a good time. But moving on to the next article, more Ghostbusters related, that happened today. We got a preview page from the series where the Traveler comes to Cybertron. The Traveler was the one from the first. Was the second one or the first Ghostbusters movie?
I don't remember.
Okay. Anyway, the Traveler is a character that was an antagonist in the Ghostbusters movies. Now she is on Cybertron. She has a robot body. She has two pets that look like they're based off of Horrible. And
well, I mean, Horrible may have been based off of the things that showed up in the original Ghostbusters, so it's all cyclical.
That's fair. And then the background behind her is basically what you saw when you were going through the O and the Transformers the movie intro. With that hippie, crazy 80s nonsense. Which is crazy.
Oh my, we can't use my recording.
Oh, why not?
I just realized that I forgot to unmute myself on OBS. So this entire time, as far as OBS is concerned, I wasn't talking.
Oh, good to know. Well then, audience did not need to hear that, but it's good that I am aware of it.
No, the audience needs to be aware of our professionalism.
Oh yes,
or lack thereof.
Yeah, fair. But moving on from Ghostbusters, we have Figure King number 253, Transformers Bumblebee feature issue. This is just, if my understanding is correct, this is just a 40-page issue just entirely about Bumblebee.
Yeah, it primarily just goes over like the Bumblebee movie, and I guess because the Bumblebee movie is
getting ready to happen.
Come out in Japan. Like it
comes out in March.
For a March release.
It comes out in March.
So this is sort of a look at a lot of the different things from the Bumblebee movie. Look at the product line in Japan. Look at Bumblebee version 2.0, the masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Along with then going into just the latest reveals of both Siege and Studio Series, and then looks like a retrospective on G1 and all the different incarnations of Bumblebee and Hot Shot from Armada for some reason.
Yeah.
Hot Shot and
Hot Rod.
Well, no, I said Hot Shot. I'm looking at the one where it's Hot Shot and then
Well, it's Hot Rod in Japan.
Perceptor, because I think Perceptor in Japan was called Bumble.
Yes, he was called Bumble.
And in English, Missing Link. So it seems to suggest that, like, for a time, the dark period where there were no Bumblebees, but there were Bumblebee alikes.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so it's a whole retrospective on basically most major incarnations of Bumblebee over the past entirety of the franchise. It's actually pretty cool.
And then they throw in pre-Diaclone prototypes.
Oh right, this was like some places just reported on this separately.
Yeah,
they had some pretty neat shots of abandoned concepts and stuff that eventually became other things. So you have the Diaclone prototypes of what became Motormaster. You have Metroplex.
There's a hoist.
Bunch of, like, I guess, experimentation for different cassette designs, one of which is a horse.
Yep. There's a horse. There's a stag beetle thingy. There's a scorpion.
Dog.
A scorpion. Yeah. Oh yeah, the dog. The really weird Ravage. I'm going to point out with the huge feet. The tiny head. There's also a triple chain, an abandoned triple changer concept where it transforms from between a water plane and an excavator.
And then the other one is like a tank. Is that a quad changer? What's happening?
That might have been a prototype six shot because I'm looking at the nose of the jet and I'm like, that's six shot's jet nose.
Oh, it does kind of look like six shot. That's weird.
Oh wait, there's also a train. Is that also a train? Is it a five changer?
Oh, no, I think you're right. It's like, it kind of looks like an aircraft carrier, a tank, six shots plane, and then a train. What is it? See, hopefully, because this is something that I feel like gets flown under the radar a lot. A lot of these especially when these Figure King issues tend to be really interesting, some fans go through the hassle, maybe it is a habit, of translating a lot of the information here, especially because sometimes you get really pivotal and just really crucial information to understand, like just history of the franchise and everything. The back half of this issue is also filled with some look at the Prime One Studios statues for the live action movies. So two new ones, the Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee, and Blitzwing, and then a retrospective of different ones that they've released previously: the Jet Power Optimus, Sentinel Prime, Barricade, and then Bumblebee from Dark of the Moon.
Yeah. Still pretty entranced by these prototypes, though. That's interesting. If that was the five changer still interests me. If that was supposed to in fact be six shot. I just can't stop thinking about that now. That's great. This whole issue is great, honestly. You should go check it out. And hopefully you can read Japanese. Yeah. That was it in the issue, right? That it just ended with the 3A figures? Because I don't think I looked at the last page.
Yeah, it seems that's pretty much the end. I'll go through and yeah. I mean, but I don't even know. The back half has like pins or something. I'm not really sure. Yeah, pins.
Mm-hmm.
Or like charms. I muted myself for a second because I wanted to test Fortress's electronics again, and now they work. So leaving the batteries in there for a little bit seemed to have helped. So I'm going to say that it's the batteries.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I'm not going to leave. I'm going to remember to take them out though later because I don't want to leave them in there and then have them explode.
Yeah, that'd be really bad.
Years down the line.
Yeah.
Although, what do I have? I have a Micron Legend Megatron Super Mode that the batteries leaked out because those toys came with batteries installed, and after getting them out and everything, the electronics still worked when I put fresh batteries in.
Okay.
Michael unimpressed.
But
right. What's next on the list?
I hope you can help me explain this one, Miguel.
Mazinger Z versus Transformers. New cover reveals. All right, so as I think we talked about this before, that there is going to be a Mazinger Z and Transformers crossover manga series. Is it a series or just one? It's just one issue.
It's just one 100-page issue.
One 100-page issue. Good grief. So yeah, it's a Mazinger Z versus the Transformers. We get two, I guess, cover images. One showing an assortment of characters, including Devastator, Optimus, Prowl, Grimlock, a very blue-looking Skywarp Thundercracker, and then I guess since this is I'm assuming this is the Japanese cartoon continuity, that is indeed Rumble.
Yeah, you would be. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is Rumble in Japan for the red one.
And then a second cover with Megatron, Mazinger Z, an alien-looking thing in the background, Optimus looking fairly MP44 inspired, and Bumblebee, who I'm assuming is there to rep MP45.
Yeah.
The comic is due out in March and has a variety of people working on it, including the designer for Thrilling 30 RC and I guess related to KISS players, Yuki Oshima, and
RC, that the Thrilling 30 RC design makes a lot more sense now.
I don't know what you're trying to say there, but I'm not going to inquire.
Why does it have a belly button?
Okay. But these covers look good. I personally don't have any real stake in Mazinger. The only tangential connection I have is that, for those who don't know, in Latin America, a fair amount of anime gets dubbed in Spanish, and pretty faithfully at that, to the original Japanese source material. Mazinger being one of those. So I have an uncle who, his childhood shows were He-Man and Mazinger, like, when they adapted it in Spanish, all of the characters kept their Japanese names. So it's sometimes very odd when he talks to me about it, and he mentions them. I'm just like, you're using, like, I forget what Mazinger came out in the U.S. as, but I think they changed some of the names.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I was for a brief time living in Puerto Rico, there were some, like, C-tier, like, Power Ranger-esque shows that were dubbed in Spanish. And then, if I remember right, in the 90s, Transformers Victory, Headmasters, and Super God Master Force all came out in Latin America.
Oh, that's interesting.
In Spanish.
Huh.
And you can either find those dubs or you can find them subbed in Spanish pretty easily. Which, honestly, sometimes is a benefit. Specifically, Dragon Ball Super. When Dragon Ball Super was airing, the Spanish subs would come out faster than the English ones. So there are plenty of episodes that my first experience understanding them was specifically reading the Spanish subtitles.
That's great.
Yeah.
Backtracking. Sorry.
It'll be fun for people who like Mazinger and Transformers.
Yeah. But for the about the Yuki Oshima, it just says in the article, KISS players perpetrator. He wrote and drew the whole series.
Oh, that's why they call him a perpetrator.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he also, however, he also did design Beast Wars Dinobot masterpiece figure. So
we have to respect him because he made the impossible work.
Yeah. Oh wow, he did all of the Beast Wars figures so far. Inferno, Grapple, Megatron, and Sunstreaker. So he knows. Oh god, he probably did Black Arachnia too.
I don't know why my house is reverberating.
Because it is scared.
An earthquake? What just happened? My whole house was shaking, and there was like some sort of like sound wave type, like not like the robot.
No, yeah. Yeah.
That was bizarre.
Well, if it's important, it'll be on the news later.
I'm alive. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's not all that matters. It's part of what matters.
Yeah.
Anyway. On to the next thing.
Legends LGEX blue big convoy box images.
Yeah, it's a box with a blue version of Big Convoy on it.
Yes. Yes,
Another
it is.
LGEX release.
Yep. Looks good. Looks pretty. Looks also very pretty with the Magna Convoy.
I can't wait to have both of them so that I can have Magna Convoy riding the mammoth.
Yep.
Next article. Reissue Masterpiece MP24 Star Saber with collector coin coming April 2019.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
If you missed Star Saber when he came out, or if you've missed Star Saber the years and years and years that he's still been in stock at most online retailers, here's another shot. So that means for the next 6 years he'll be available.
Yep. Yeah.
No, literally, because he came out in 2013. Well, no, he was the result of a poll that came out in 2013. So he probably came out in 2014. So he's been available for 5 years.
Yeah.
So he's going to be. So in 2024, if you're listening to this, check BBTS. You might still be able to buy Star Saber.
Yep.
Or at that point, Star Saber V2 might have come out.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. I mean, it's entirely possible. But the next article. G1 Jetpack upgrade kit for Siege War for Cybertron Optimus Prime from Deep Space Arsenal. Someone has done it. Someone has come up with a third-party upgrade kit for Optimus Prime, and it's from someone I've never heard of before.
It seems to be a 3D printed operation.
Yeah.
You get this very okay looking jetpack, and then an assortment of items, including the energy axe. And is that a new gun?
It's a new gun. It's a new ion blaster. Taller smokestacks and fuel tanks on the thighs.
Oh, that's why they show the legs.
Yeah.
And shoulder. Oh, the. I guess the smokestacks are on. Right, because those smokestacks are molded onto plates. So
yeah. So they have replacement parts for those plates to give them.
Yeah, looks interesting. I'm more interested, rather than in this specific kit, in the just. It seems like Siege will be a line that a lot of these third-party upgrade kit people are gonna. They seem to enjoy the line, so they're probably going to jump on it and actually do a few upgrades for. Because the other thing that I saw from, which wasn't in the show notes, but from, I think it's Shockwave's laboratory?
Yeah.
There's a few kits coming out, specifically LED related. One of them is for Time to Return Trypticon, to give Trypticon LEDs in his mouth.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Jeez.
The other one is a matrix assembly that goes inside of the chest cavity of Siege Optimus.
That one I did see.
Siege Optimus has a chest cavity that actually does a good job at fitting in the matrix cores from Power of the Primes. The LED set it's a smaller matrix recessed inside of just some mechanical detailing, and so you can put that in, and then it has an LED so it'll light up. I hope that means that more people will do upgrades and stuff for the Siege figures, maybe weapon packs and unofficial weapon effects. Those are the two things that I would want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We need more effects parts.
Maybe a trailer for Optimus.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be interesting.
It's a 5mm port and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun. Oh, if you could weapon that up with like 5 shockwaves kits, that'd be hilarious. Yeah. Also, if you're interested in this, it's available on eBay and it's $45.
Oh my.
Yeah. I'd only be in it for the axe, really. I mean, like the gun could be better. So if someone did a kit with the axe and the gun, I'd be like, fine, sounds good to me. But it's not worth it for the $45 for all of that, because it's pretty much I think most of that's going towards the jetpack, since the jetpack is attempting to cover up Optimus's backpack. So it's a little cumbersome. But the last news article we have is bot related. New York Toy Fair video featuring new Bumblebee movie toys and Bots Arcade Renegades. The Bumblebee stuff is all stuff we saw before. However, I'm bringing this up specifically because there was a press release. Oh, I should put this article into. There was a press release about Bots, and that mentioned that there's going to be an Arcade Renegade 16 pack that will feature 12 Arcade Renegade characters and 4 random characters from other teams. They will be part of Series 3, and gave us the names of 16 Arcade Renegade characters. So there's probably going to be at least 2 different packs of this. But this also shows us the packaging for the Arcade Renegade 16 pack that will be at retail for $29.99. Got your 8 Arcade Renegades in a display case that has like a very 80s arcade effects background, and then 8 sealed packed bots, and it looks like a giant controller because the 4 of them have like directional arrows, and the other 4 have letters that spell out bots. And I think this is just funny and worth mentioning. What are your thoughts on this, Miguel?
Looks neat. I don't know that I'm gonna be paying attention, at least as close attention. I can't use words tonight. At Box as you very evidently have been. It looks neat, and I guess I like that they're diversifying the sort of the ways that they're offering bots. This kind of feels a lot like when bot shots were out, where bot shots very much seemed like the labor of love that someone had, where they had all these different packs and like you got all these different teams, and same with Creo. So having that sort of push, but for something that's pretty much just churning out neat original character ideas, looks just pretty cool.
Yep. And if you want to hear more about my thoughts about this, you can go for my YouTube channel, SoundJack 426, and check out all of my freaking news update videos about the bots. There's a lot of them because there's been a lot of news. And there's going to be more. I just wanted to plug that because I'm doing news videos now while I'm waiting for artwork to get done for my reviews. Also, it's easier to upload because goddamn my internet. I'm sorry, I went on a very strange rant there. But anywho, that's it for the news. Pretty pre-orders. Miguel, why don't you do pretty pre-orders?
Okay.
Since
pretty pre-orders this week, we have. All right. Actually, okay, we have 2.
Oh, don't forget to mention the thing you wanted to mention.
I'll save that for the end.
Okay,
First
I thought. Yeah.
We have Let me double check, make sure that's the first one listed off. Yep. We have from TF Source what appears to be a restock or an upcoming restock of the Guardia Combiner from Make Toys. This is their version of Defensor and the various the various aerial bots, the various Protectobots. So we have Rover, Hymed, Axel, and I can't read Katana. That's interesting. They only have the 4 limbs. Oh no, if I scroll down, I see that they also have Vulcan, who is their hotspot. So you can order them individually, or you can order them together as a combined set, which is 14% off currently. Alternatively, if you're more in a movie mood, from Zeta Toys, you have ZV-01 Pioneer. This is Zeta Toys' attempt at a Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee design. I don't know if this is Studio Series scale or
There was an arc when
NPM.
I think there was an article that came out. I think it said like 7 inches, so I think this is supposed to be Masterpiece scale.
Okay, so a Masterpiece scale. He comes with 2 different blades, one that's more serrated and one that's more straight. His gun arm, his World War II hammer, which he didn't have in the movie, and his battle mask.
Yeah.
So, is this supposed to transform? Because it doesn't look like it does.
That's what I've been wondering too. Like the legs definitely look like they have enough kibble to them, and aren't screen accurate enough to look like they probably transform. But I don't know how it does it.
That's interesting. So
this will be interesting to see.
If you're interested in this, just from how it looks, even beyond having more information later down the line from TF Direct, just drop a $9.95 deposit.
Yep.
Speaking of deposits, a couple weeks ago, I'm pretty sure we talked about Mastermind Creations doing a crowdfunding campaign for Supermax, their attempt at a IDW Fortress Maximus, which looks incredibly comic accurate. Rick Acker on Twitter is the designer who has been kind of pushing this in partnership with Planet Steel Express, which is sort of Mastermind's go-to retailer. Now, the original ask was that by the end of this month, that 800 people would drop a $50 pre-order in order to purchase Supermax, who would be coming out next year for, I believe, $230. The $50 would go toward that $230. Thankfully, given the fact that they're only about halfway there, they have extended the crowdfunding campaign to next month. So you now have until March 20th to get your pre-order in at Planet Steel Express. Based off of everything I've seen from a lot of the videos and GIFs and everything, and kind of different looks at the figure, at the intended articulation range, the way the thing transforms and everything, even the amount of accessories that it'll come with, and just the overall quality that it seems to be designed for, I definitely think it's worth it, especially if you're a fan of More Than Meets the Eye and you like Fortress Maximus, or even if you're just a fan of IDW in general, like Fort Max. Good character, great design, great design toy. I would say hop over to Planet Steel Express and go pre-order yourself a copy. I definitely want to see that figure produced. I've had my pre-order in for a while now. So get at it, people. I want to see Supermax made. You should too.
Nice. Yeah, I unfortunately will not be going in on that, but it does look really good. Gotta say.
Yeah, but that's it for pretty pre-order stuff. Question of the week. We have two. One from Steven Eider, and he asks, what do you guys think of Power Core combiners? Why don't you start off, Miguel?
My thoughts on Power Core are kind of just because I don't own any currently. I think when Power Core was around, the only things I ever bought were Huffer because of the like misconstrued, like, oh, this is Classics Huffer. No, it wasn't. And the tank. Heavy tread?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I only got heavy tread because he was hard to get, so I got him, played with him for a bit, and then sold him. Because he was around, like, that wave came in on, like, Black Friday.
Okay.
So I think I picked up one for myself and picked up a few others to sell to people who I knew were looking for them. At, like, cost. And then just ended up getting rid of the one that I had.
You know what I just realized, though?
What?
Those Minicons are PowerLinks compatible and have not been included on my Minicon completion list.
Oh, well, there we go. And then there's the campaign versions.
Oh, no.
A bunch of which were at TFCon, and I was holding, and then never bought. Because I think I couldn't find Fracas. Only one I wanted. Oh no! And then that means you'd have to buy United Artfire, because United Artfire comes with one.
He does?
Yeah, I own it. I know he comes with one.
Right, he does. I thought it was another Cyclonus one.
He comes with both. He comes with Cyclonus' Target Master, and he comes with forget whose Minicon that is.
I think it's Cups. Or the one it's based off the one Cup gets. It's a
I meant from Power Core. I don't remember what Power Core Minicon that is.
It's the double-barreled minigun, right?
Yes.
What's the weapon mode?
It's some vague, like, underslung gun type thing. Like, he can't really hold it.
Oh, wait, it's... No, I thought it was the one that came with Huffer. I can look it up. Why am I trying to figure it out in my head? I can look it up. The wiki is right there.
All right, so I'll just keep going. So yeah, Power Core. I think retrospectively, it's a pretty interesting line, especially because like now with all of like the G1 retreads and everything, like that line very much was trying to do something all its own, and like you have pretty interesting entries like Grimstone, Dino Pope.
Yep.
It's easier to remember the stupid fan name than it is to remember his actual name.
Grimstone the Dino Pope.
And then I think one of the things that's really interesting is specifically the Japanese end, the United EX line, because the Packin manga just had so many deep cuts, and it was always kind of a thing of a character would come out, and you'd be like, all right, now we got to figure out who this is actually supposed to be. Lots of wiki fodder in that end of the line.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Power Core, as time goes on, will be more appreciated than it was when it came out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I always found Power Core combiners neat. I did grab the first wave, which was Chopster and Huffer. I think that was it for the first wave, and then the only
well, that was the deluxes, and then it was the Constructicon and the was that the first wave? The first wave was the Aerial Bot and Combaticon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's another thing that was interesting, was this whole idea that you could have essentially like all versions of like team members or anything, or it's like, oh, like you have a bunch of aerial bots. Some of them are just like maybe regular dudes. Some of them combine with drones, and then you have like the stars who actually combine into Superion, and then maybe like something happens to Slingshot. So you have like a lower tiered like helicopter dude who comes in and is just like, I can help, and then it's like, okay, Alpha Bravo, become our leg.
Yep.
So that whole expanded universe for a lot of those guys was always interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. The first wave was the Combaticon and Aerial Bot ones, and there was also Searchlight in the first wave, who I always found interesting because that's a different. That's not a mole because it was a rescue helicopter, and that's not an alt mode that we see a whole lot with the double rotor. But I did eventually get the Grimstone one because I found it at like TJ Maxx or something. I do kind of wish I got more of them at the time. Especially now that I realize, oh crap, they also have minicons that are minicon compatible. But they're still neat. They are quite neat. I do also have to give an absolute special shout out to Chopster, who is probably the best one. Because his name is Chopster, and he turns into Fire Axe, and his original name was supposed to be Kick Axe.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
What? Gee, I wonder why that didn't get through.
Legal was just like, again? Every year you try to get this name through.
Well, no. Okay, but then there was still the legal hassle in the UK because they wanted to call...
Let's avoid that topic.
Yes, that's fair. It's not a bad name in the US, though it's still not a good name to call anyone. But in the UK, it's an outright slur. But that's more than enough to say for right now. Let's move on to the next question. And it comes from us. So I mentioned it briefly last week, at the very least, that the Tiger Stripe Combat Hero Megatron had a product description that mentioned a Red Wing. And then that means we're probably going to be getting a Red Wing out of the Siege Starscream for the Selects line at some point. So, and not long after that, Jesse Winrich on Twitter revealed the convoluted backstory for how Red Wing happened. And long story short, it wasn't supposed to be Red Wing, but another version. No, wait. The toy that ended up becoming Sunstorm that was released at BotCon 2013 was going to be named another character because they were originally designing Sunstorm. But then Takara was like, okay, no, eHobby is going to be making a Sunstorm out of the classic Starscream mold. So they're like, okay, we'll just name it this other character that Exodus gave us. And then that fell through this. And then we're like, okay, let's actually make it Sunstorm. But the two orange Seekers were already drawn in the comic, and just because of the lighting, the one was a redder color, and they were like, who's this? People were like, who's this Seeker? And they were like, Red Wing. But then they put out official art of him actually being red instead of the orangey-ish color that he actually appeared in the comics. So the question that we asked, and I really think this is a question Eric asked, will Select's Red Wing actually be red?
Probably.
I agree.
I think Eric's going to be disappointed, but I think also Eric's going to be the only one disappointed that it's not actually not red.
Not actually not.
That was about as smart of a sentence as color lift. Oh yeah. He wants it to be red orange, as evidenced by this week's mascot red orange bisque. Which isn't that just bisque anyway? Whatever. I guess. Yeah. But that's all we have for this week. So yeah, hopefully next week we'll have more than me and one other person here. Remember to go to the Twitter, the Twitter account for Steel City Bots to determine if Jared was last week's Miguel or if Miguel was this week's Jared.
Alternatively, and then respond to that post saying who you want to be next week's Jared and or Miguel.
Yes, do it. And then along with that, you should go follow Steel City Bots on Twitter and Instagram because that account exists, even though that hasn't been active in a while. But you should also follow Nerdy Geek Talk on Twitter because you'll be updated whenever there's a new podcast out. And as well, if you want to listen to the podcast, you can subscribe to us on YouTube and like the videos there. Or you can go to one of the many podcast places, including Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, and iTunes, as well as some other places that we're not completely familiar with, that Miguel knows. What's the name of the place you knew, Miguel?
Podcast Addict, but that's just kind of like an aggregate. Because like when I use Podcast Addict, I usually just search like what is it? You can select which different places to search on, and one of them is like I have an Android phone, but I can search the Apple like library of podcasts and find something and download it.
Okay.
So it's not too much of a different place, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to us, share with your friends.
Yep.
Reach out to the main social media channels for Steel City Bots and Nerdy Geek Talk, or you can hit us up individually.
Yes. Miguel, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LogosMiner. Lately, I've just been really posting about sales threads, so if you're interested in a variety of Generations figures and or a SH Figure Arts Red Ranger, hit me up on Twitter. And
you've been trying to sell that Red Ranger for a while.
For forever. I know that the Lightning Collection stuff is happening and people might just go for that, but if you're someone who for whatever reason prefers how the Bandai figures look, and specifically the Japanese ones and not the US ones, because like Legacy Collection's still available in most places, hit me up. Take the Red Ranger off my hands.
Yep.
There's a Majin Buu there that sold, so don't bother me about the Majin Buu.
Have people been bothering you about the Majin Buu?
Not really. Just the one person who's like, "Hey, can I buy that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, here."
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
But yeah.
And then
Michael, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at SoundJack426. My YouTube channel features, hopefully it'll feature Transformers toy reviews soon. At the moment, it's just now inundated with BotBots news updates. There's been 3 in the past week, and I'm working on my 4th. And you can also check out my my podcast, my own podcast, SoundJack's Rambles. This coming week, Alyssa and I talked about Smash Bros. Ultimate.
And I forgot to ask Miguel to be on that if he wanted to be
all
on
right.
it.
In the past now.
Yeah, it is. It isn't. Well, it hasn't been posted yet, so technically it's in the future, and the past. But you can also follow me on Instagram where I post photos of my toys, and my Twitter where I hang out. So come on by and say hi. And if you did, you can follow the others if you know who they are. But that's it from us. So until next time, guys. Bye.